Hi, my name is Robert Grossman. I'm the founder of Black Diamond Leadership. And I want to share an experience I had this week when I was working with one of my executive clients at a coaching session. When we got on the call using Zoom, I could tell visibly that my client was upset, my client was under stress, and I could see it in my client's eyes and in my client's facial expression. So I asked my client if they wanted to work on what they wrote in their strategy call document a couple days ago. And my client said, no, I really want to talk about what's going on right now because I'm feeling so incredibly guilty. And the burden on my shoulders is so heavy right now. So my client shared with me that her spouse has been incredibly supportive of my client's career. But because of some situations in their families, my client's spouse really wanted to move back home. And to some degree, my client wanted to move back home as well. And the guilt was coming from the fact that my client's spouse was so incredibly supportive of my client's career, and her spouse always put her first in their relationship. And my client was ready to put her spouse first by making this move. It also meant that it would be a career change and that my client would possibly be leaving a position with a company that my client really liked and was very committed and dedicated to. So I asked her, I said, I've heard you use the word guilt and guilty several times in the last minute. And my client said, yes, I really feel that burden of guilt about my spouse and my work and a whole bunch of different areas. And I said, what would it be? How would it be different if instead of saying guilt, you use the word gratitude? And she said, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, you said your spouse was so supportive of you. What if you express gratitude for that support? What if you express gratitude for the job that you have, gratitude for the people that you work with? And my client just stared into the camera for a minute, and I could then see my client's face visibly change from a frown to a smile, from pain to relief. And my client said, oh my God, that is incredibly powerful. I'm seeing the situation completely different than I did before the call. Now, the truth is, the situation is still the same. Decisions are still there to be made. However, now, instead of from a place of guilt, my client is looking at it from a place of gratitude. And the purpose of me sharing this with you and why I was moved so much is just the meaning and the power behind the words we use, not only with other people, but what we say to ourselves as well too. And the words we use with other people and what we say to ourselves has an immediate impact on our mood, on our stress. And when we look at this and understand it, it improves our self-awareness about how we're responding to different words, how we need to see if what we're saying to another person is actually communicating what we want to communicate. And this process improves our emotional intelligence. It improves our self-mastery, our personal leadership. Well, I want to share the end of this story because after every coaching session, there's an opportunity for my clients to share what they got from the session, their big takeaways, and 3 actions that they're going to take. I want to read to you what my client wrote, and I do have their permission to share this. I'd been struggling for weeks, feeling guilty about not being able to agree with my husband on a potential relocation and how he acquiesces to my wishes rather than his own. Robert offered his thoughts about changing the word guilt with gratitude regarding my perspective. Applying and internalizing his recommendation of my situation brought instantaneous emotional relief and calmness beyond what I've ever experienced. It lifted a burden off my shoulders physically, mentally, and emotionally. The experience was profound on how a word can change perspective on how you see a situation in a totally different light. Although it does not change the situation or decision, the positive interpretations and lens change is powerful. Think about the words you use. Think about the things that you say to yourself and the impact it has on you and others. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because there'll be more videos like this and other mini courses coming out in the very near future. Take care and be well.